Hi, this is Cheryl for Cut at Home. Today I want to show you how to make a pretty decorated box similar to this one. This is one of the Tim Holtz Ideology configurations boxes. So normally you see it with all these little boxes on the inside. I'm not choosing to use them with this project, just the lid and the other piece. This is how it will look decorated, although I haven't quite attached them yet because I wanted to show you the full box itself. So we've got the lid at the bottom. I've used a piece of foil from the Gilded Life Spellbinders. You need the Gilded Life foils because they're long enough to stretch across the box. And before I put it on, I embossed it with this pretty vintage damask embossing plate, also by a Gilded Life. Again, it provides a good base for my flower decorations, as well as it's just pretty. What can I say? But you can see the box is decorated on all sides, inside and outside. Inside not quite so pretty. I should have maybe put a panel down here to sort of hide the ugly back of the metal foils and that sort of thing. On the inside I've lined with a different paper, but essentially the same thing. And again, fully decorated on the outside. The one thing that remains to be done is I need to put some of the little felt or plastic feet at the bottom so that it stays off of whatever surface it's sitting on. Let me show you how easy it is to do that. I've got one of the little boxes that goes inside and I've started to complete it, but I want to show you the various steps on this little box because it's much easier than trying to show you on a larger box. First thing, you need to do some measurements, so you need a pretty detailed ruler. This one will work for me, the 6-inch will work for me on this little box, but certainly will not work on something this size because I can't get a full measurement in one shot, and you just have to be. Here we're working with 1/8 of inches for the most part. So you're just going to lay it across, make sure where your zero line is, if it's at the edge or in a little bit. And this measures approximately 2 7/8. So I'm probably just going to cut a fat 2 3/4 in order to get this sort of a finish. A little of the black from the edges is showing, but that way my paper is not extending out. If you extend it out, it has a better tendency to fray and ravel off. So it's better to decorate the edges and let your paper sit inside a little bit. Now I've got to measure both outside and inside of the box in order to make that happen. Inside you have to again kind of eyeball from edge to edge. Your inside should be smaller than your outside. Your bottom of the box should be smaller in measurement than the top of your box. It's just sort of the logical way things flow on this. So in order to decorate the box, again, it's this sort of crafty color to start with. I'm going to use my Copic marker. Very easy, using the chisel tip to just go along the side, along the edges, just in maybe about a 1/4 inch. So when I put my paper on, it covers fully. You can also use a Sharpie marker. You can see again, I've started to do that. You can see how I did here on the bottom. Now if you're going to decorate the inside as well, you have to do that all the way through the inside too, so that when I put my inside pieces in, they're also protected. I don't have to be quite so precise in measurements, and all you're going to see is that nice black finishing. So again, these are some pieces that I cut specifically for this box. You want to use score tape. It's very important to use score tape. It holds like crazy. I use the 1/2 inch for everything that I've done here. It's a little bit of overkill, even on this size box, but especially on this. You'd rather overkill. You want to make sure it holds tight. So you're just going to remove the liner and stick it down. Again, I don't want any gaps in the liner in order to make that work. Then I'm going to go as a finishing step with my Copic marker, and I'm going to go along the outer edges. So if there's any white backing of the paper showing, it's all taken care of. Again, just a caution when you're working with a regular size box and lid, make sure that you mark carefully which piece goes where and how it all goes together, because it's very easy. If you use a contrasting paper, it's not so hard, but if you're using all the same paper, it's kind of difficult to remember what were top pieces versus bottom pieces, and so you can easily end up with something too tall or too short. But again, measure reduce a little bit so that you don't stick over the edges here. You want to be just underneath, that way there's nothing to catch. Just above here. So these kind of tend to have rolled edges a little bit at the sides, and you have to account for that a little bit. But it all works very well. It's a very super easy project to do. It just takes a little time, a little measurement, a little score tape, and how can you go wrong when you have this gorgeous graphic 45 paper? These are from an older collection, A Lady's Diary. Thanks for watching.